But what you're losing in weirdness, you're gaining in reliability. I'm turned on by reliability.
Question though, is your grandmother turned on by reliability?
We got to crown a king. You going to put a Saab 900 in your garage or a Volvo 240?
I think I might put the... Welcome back to Bid Left Nut, the talk show, shit show, car show, where we are always asking the question, how much? How much is that car worth? How much should that auction close at? And was it a fair price? I'm Stace Ghost, and I am joined by Johnny Miata.
Not this week, my friend.
Who are
I'm
you?
Johnny Lingonberry. Do you know why I'm Johnny Lingonberry?
Yes, we're talking about Swedes.
The other great white meat, the Volvo 240.
That's right.
And unlike the Saab, which we just talked about all of its quirky excellence, while the Volvo had some performance models, that's not really what it's known for,
No.
is it?
Oh no, it's known for being the box that the refrigerator came in.
It is a little stodgy. And I get that.
That's its charm though.
Because the thing about the Volvo 240 is you could have a 40-year-old Volvo 240. Chances are it's still going to be running. The switchgear is still going to be working.
That's right.
These cars were like as indestructible as you could get and also as safe as you could get.
But more than that, before Volvo, cool people were irresponsible. And
That's very true.
responsible people just weren't cool. I think with a Volvo, you could be both. Safe, sexy?
Here's the big deal. The Volvo 240 Turbo Wagon, there was nothing like it before. We didn't mix the streams, if you will. We didn't have a car that could do anything, a gotta car, go anywhere, do anything car. That didn't exist. You had a sports car. The sports car would be most likely two-door convertible,
Right.
big engine, lightweight. You had a family car that was stodgy and dumb and it had wood grain on the side.
Stupid.
It wasn't inspiring. It wasn't fun to drive. All it did was haul your family around while they yelled at you for being such a loser. It wasn't until the Saab, it wasn't until the Volvo Turbo Wagon
Reach on.
that you now had a performance vehicle that you could haul your stupid family around in.
And we're going to pretend that there was no Mercedes or BMW product at the time.
Well, now wait a minute. I can refute all of this.
Go for it.
What Mercedes wagon was performance oriented pre-AMG Hammer? Which, by the way, was a tuner car. You know all that.
Yeah. Okay. I would say none.
And the Mercedes wagon was not a performance, or it was a well-built car, but it wasn't fast.
It had get up and sit. It didn't have get up and go.
Yeah, you got your family to the country club in time to not be super mad at them.
Right.
But it wasn't a performance car. The 5 Series wagon, let's talk about this for a second. There was no 5 Series wagon before the E34. And the E34 came out in 89, 91.
1987, late 87. But the touring.
For the 88 model year is the E.
Yes.
The first year of the Turbo Wagon was 4 years earlier.
So they set a precedent. We went looking for some current auctions for Saab 900 and Volvo 240 because we wanted to predict some prices of it. What we found was shocking. There were no current auctions that we wanted to feature. But we did find a number of auctions that show the trajectory of these cars' values. Now, they're not skyrocketing up, but there is an upward trajectory. And I know, Johnny, you have a theory about why these cars are becoming more popular and more valuable.
I was listening to McKeel Haggerty discussing the merits of collector cars on a popular morning show recently. What you're seeing is cars that used to be commonplace to you or I as Gen Xers are now things of curiosity to the next generation, the younger folks that have the money to go buy fun cars.
Yes.
And as a result, they're buying Volvo 240s and they're buying Saab 900s and they're making the values increase because suddenly they're collectible and cool and different.
Yeah, and they're turning into the accidental collector cars.
They're accidental supercars, they're accidental
Yeah.
collector cars.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun car that you can also use on a daily basis.
Yeah. You want to look at some prices?
Well, that's how we're going to prove my theory. So, indeed,
That's what we're going to do. All right. So the first car we're taking a look at is
let's go to the Volvo videotape. So, look, I started off because I also have a trifecta of Volvo goodness.
yes.
And what I tried to showcase was some different levels of Volvo collectability. And I started with a very common, very indicative of the brand. Here's a 240 wagon in glacier white. I think it's white. And this car is exactly what I think about when I think about a 240.
Yes.
It is clean, it is not rusty and rotten. This car has 143,000 miles on it. It is a well maintained, well kept example, but it's not showroom. It's not perfect. It's clearly been loved.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody with the initials VOLVO owned it.
That's right. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah. And look, it's a nice entry level. It's not, again, not perfect. You see some cracking on the paint. You see that somebody clearly doesn't know how to use black again. That's fine.
It's the car's honest though, Johnny.
It's a very honest car. It's a car that I would be proud to own and happy to improve upon throughout my ownership.
Yes. I don't think
S-
there's anything wrong with this car at all. I mean, selling for $8,000, this is a lot of style for $8,000. It's a lot of reliability. It's a lot of personality.
For those of a certain age, you will probably be a little surprised that a pedestrian 240 wagon is selling for 8 grand. But when you think about what new cars are selling for, this is such a great alternative to having a car payment. And you're still driving something fun and different. You pull up to a light and you're not going to see another 240 next to you.
Johnny, nothing you buy today has this face. I think this is gorgeous. The big eyes.
I love it. They started in 1986 with the television headlights.
Yes.
Now, I will tell you, they don't particularly illuminate all that well.
Hey, but what did in 1986?
That's right. And you can get E-code replacements that definitely improve the situation.
Yeah.
I think this is a great buy at 8 grand.
I agree.
I think that it's a car that you can drive for years. You can live with day in, day out. You can drive it on Sundays if you want. But this becomes, much like my Land Cruiser, a car you can throw into the rotation immediately and drive it daily, semi-daily, and have no car payment. How amazing.
But let's talk about this for a second. Just like the since we're talking about car values, we're talking car money here. If I read through this auction, this was an alumni listing. Last year in 2024, it sold for 14.5. Somebody buys it, has done a ton of work to it. Subsequent service, the body, suspension, steering, four-speed transmission, the engine. They sell it this year, 2 months ago, and they get $8,200 for it. So let's just be honest about the values of these cars. Somebody put a ton of money and ton of love into this and just didn't get it back. So that's also something to be aware of. Is like that happens too. Happens to
Have you ever seen Ozark?
I've not.
It's money laundering.
Come
Look,
on, nobody's money laundering with this.
no, nobody's money laundering with this. The bottom line here is, like every other auction, and we've discussed this at length, it all depends on who's in the room,
Right.
right? It depends on who's in the room and who's buying and who's not buying and who's been looking for a wagon. I think, honestly, I think this car could have used if you paid me $500, I would have detailed it to within an inch of its life, and you probably would have gotten $3,000-$4,000 more
Mhm.
than this guy got,
Would you
which would have
have taken the Velcro off?
I mean, I would have taken the toupee off of the dashboard for
Because
sure.
I don't think it looks that bad. I mean, it's got
No, it doesn't look
cracks.
that
I mean,
bad,
this
and
is a
they're not.
40-year-old car.
Yeah, they are prone to cracking, but what do you do? You're saving it for the next owner. There's a sexual joke in there that Jerry Seinfeld gets really mad at. Spark-o-matic for real?
Yeah. For your listening pleasure.
I it's gotta sound terrible, right? It's gotta sound awful, but I don't know that I would want to replace it.
Well, you know what the presets are on that? Wait, does this have
It's
presets?
99 what? WPLR.
No, I was thinking preset 1, NPR, preset 2, NPR, preset 3,
Oh, yes.
NPR.
Yes, that's fair. But then when you get to the later down the dial, it's definitely the Wigmaster, if you're from Connecticut, is playing 24/7 on this. And let me go back to the shifter.
Yeah, it's big.
Do we have another case of somebody buying vinyl applique and then placing it liberally throughout the car, just like the Saab we saw?
No, I think this is factory wood.
No, no, no. That is not factory burl, Milton.
Goes with the
It is
wheel.
no, and that's not even the most offensive part. The most offensive part is they took the they took the part that you weren't supposed to unstick and they put that on the gear lever.
Be nice.
It's fine. This is fine. Look, overall, clean car, nice car. I selected it because I think it's a good example of what you can get for under 10 grand.
Yeah. You get a lot for 10 grand. So
You know, for 10 grand. Now,
this 33,000 miles.
I thought I was going to blow your mind with this, and then you're pulling out $60,000 Saabs. And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do with this? Because this was my piece de resistance.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say that in Swedish, or else I would have. Nice car, 33,000 miles.
Right.
It is your typical Volvo 240 sedan. It is milk toast. You are an orthodontist in 1988, 1991,
That's
whatever
right.
year you're in.
You explain to people it's not slow, it's patient.
It's patient. It's not slow. It's just speedily challenged.
Right. Quick comparison, 33,000 miles for $27,000 or 8,200 for how many miles does this have on it?
It's had like 143.
Which are you taking?
I mean, I'm doing 143 because we're talking about cars
Yep.
that are known for their longevity. And I'm going to take the extra $20,000 and I'm going to give it to my wife because I'm a simp.
What else do we have in here?
Yeah, I want to look at this because I love it. First off, Volvo had very durable vinyl, but it was still vinyl. But in addition to that, they had the most lovely mouse fur interiors. Comfy, durable, warm in the winter, cool in the summer. I am a huge proponent of cloth interior cars. This just looks so comfy.
But they're smart enough to put vinyl on the seat back because little Johnny is kicking his keds up against that.
I can't tell you how many times I've told little Johnny to knock that off.
Wait, you are little Johnny.
I am little Johnny. I'm so happy I don't sit in the back seat anymore. These are great. Now, in the later cars, you'll notice in the back seats, they have the weirdo headrests. In the front seats, they also have the weirdo headrests. But by 1991, they were like, yeah, these are weird. You know what we're going to do? We're just going to put little condoms on top of them. And then they're going to look like everybody else's headrests
What, in the front?
in the front.
Yeah. But you can still
I
see
can't even tell.
the ribs of the weirdness.
Yeah, I can't even tell what's under there.
I like those headrests. I do. I think out of all the automotive world, barring a seat that's custom fit to your body,
Yeah.
Volvo seats generally are the most comfortable seats anywhere.
They're like Dr. Scholl's for your ass.
They certainly are. That's a nice way to put it.
This car is amazing. It is not necessarily it's not a time capsule like the 79-mile car you showed us, but it's probably about as close as you're going to get with a Volvo 240 and still be able to use it, right? You're not going to cringe every time you go out and put another mile on it. As a matter of fact,
Typically, a Volvo that's in really great condition will judge you back. This car won't. This car will embrace you.
this car will definitely embrace you. And it's a car that you can drive to go get ice cream or pick up the laundry or bring your butler home,
Or drop your
uh,
kid off at
drop your kid off
Bates College or
at the
something.
park for the next 40 years. I like this. I like this a lot. Do I $27,000 like it? I don't, yeah, no, I think to your point, I would have bought the $8,000 one. But somebody loved it enough to pay up. And I think at some point, we're going to look back on this and say, man, that was a good deal.
Yeah. What do you think about what Trademark says here? And Trademark, if you, he comments, it doesn't really matter. So what do you think about this comment here? This is a treat time capsule condition. Sure. If they still sold these new, people would line up around the block to buy them. What do you think? In today's
Well,
market, with all the choices we have great cars from South Korea. We have lots of German
yeah, I mean, the
options.
first thing I would think is his name Mark? But
Hmm.
then the second thing that I would think is
Hmm.
people always say that they would buy a simple old car if they had the opportunity.
Right.
Every new car has a metric ton of screens and technology, and it's got to be coming from somewhere. The manufacturers aren't just,
Yeah, but that's the reason we ended up with the Pontiac Aztec because people said they would buy it.
they did. And look, I am a guy that does not like screens. I keep talking about the Land Cruiser tonight because I drove it around
Does
today.
your wife know you're having an affair with that Land Cruiser?
Here, oh, but I was so happy. It was dark and I had to drive 45 minutes. There's not a screen to be had. As a matter of fact, the little LCD screen with the radio, the bulb is burnt out. So you don't even get that. All I had were analog gauges in a nice green glow and music playing out of the radio. And it was awesome. I didn't have this crazy screen. I didn't have anything vying for my attention. I just had a lovely drive home tonight.
Speaking of driving in darkness, do you remember the Saab feature?
I do remember the SOP feature. Do you want to talk about it or do you want me to?
I will let you, but I will just say, I wish all cars had that. Go ahead.
Agreed. So I had, and I know we weren't going to talk about the GM era Saabs, but we're going to have to for a moment. Mostly GM era Saabs, because it started in 1994, came with a night panel where you would hit the button. And look, fun fact, in 1994, for a few model years, they actually called it the black panel. And then they had to stop calling it the black panel. We don't know why, but like they did. They moved it to night panel. And it would shut everything off. All of the lights and all of the gauges would go dark, except for the speedometer from 0 to, I think, 80, if I remember correctly. And by the way, if you went over 80, then the rest of the numbers would light up.
So smart. That is so
So
cool.
amazing. All the other lights would stay off. And all of the gauges would shut off. Now you might ask yourself, if I'm driving at night and I've got the night black panel on, and I'm driving, apparently I'm very small because the steering wheel is this big, but I'm driving or I'm milking a cow. And what happens when I start to need gas? Well, the gas gauge would illuminate and it would immediately show you what was going on with the gas gauge. And if you were overheating, it would do the same thing. Whatever gauge needed attention would light up. Otherwise, it kept it as dim as possible in the cabin. And that is genius.
Yes.
Why did we stop doing that? Why do we think we need all the lights all the time? Except for tail lights. We don't think we need those.
I love it. I wish that we could go back to that. So,
Samesies.
I don't have anything else to say on that. Do you want to look at the 79?
Yeah, let's look at the 79.
I have a feeling the next car we're going to look at, you and I are going to have a difference of opinion.
Really?
Really? I'm sorry, John.
No, it's okay. Let's go.
Tell us what we're looking at.
So Do you want me to open up with a little story? A little analogy? All right.
Absolutely. If you've got one queued up, go ahead. I'm gonna cycle through some
Matter of fact, I
photos.
do, because as we were developing this episode, sometimes I will text Stace Ghost a little story or a little blurb or a little something because I'm an idiot. And so today I was like, have you ever been in your family's summer home attic looking for something and you come across a picture of your grandmother? It's old, it's tattered, it fell out of a book, and she's in fishnets and high heels, and she's dropping the family car keys into a fishbowl at an obvious party. That's what this car reminds me of. And so I get it, it's weird. But you have the stodgy Volvo, the 240 that we're all super familiar with. And then you have one that's a little older. It's still a 240. They made these cars from 75 to 1993. But this one happens to be a coupe. It happens to be the GT model. Those are factory Virgo wheels. Those are factory decals that came on the GT. And look at that red stripe. I feel like I'm in Jamaica, Mon.
Do you want to see the seats?
Dude,
I think he's got covers over the seats. Wait, didn't he have? These had red stripes down the middle of the
he
seat.
did have red stripes and he does have covers. But look, it's got a tack.
Yep, almost. It's got a small tack, a baby tack.
It's got a little tack. It's a little tacky.
It's got temp tank.
It's got, yeah. So you've got fuel. You know when it's going to overheat. You've got 130-mile-an-hour speedometer. You've got a nice light that says brake failure, as if the brick wall didn't indicate that to you already.
Look at those
All right, I'll be
green
honest.
switches, Johnny. Where have you seen green switches ever before on a car? That is wild.
It is wild. It's got the fastened seatbelt. It's got, yeah. So those are for the fog lamps. And the rear fog lamp, is that
No,
true?
it says high
No,
beams.
rear defrost.
It says high beams. Fog lamp.
It does say high beams.
High beams, yeah.
Here's a little secret. Johnny Lingonberry doesn't know how to read. Johnny Miata does, but Johnny Lingonberry, not so good. I love this car. I love how quirky this thing is. On top of our, yeah, there you go. There's the red striped seats, Mon. It also has little crucifixes for the seatbelts, which is interesting. If you go back,
Well, that's how they keep you safe.
that is, you better pray because we're about to hit something big. Those are weird.
Well, it's just a matter of it locks in, I guess, in a different way than normal seatbelts because they had to be weird.
You locked in with Jesus.
That's right.
All right. 242 coupe, man. It's a GT.
Yeah.
Do you not love this?
I don't love the presentation of it here. I think it's a little bit hoopty.
Well, it's super hoopty. Like it's lowered way too low.
Yeah.
Um,
Tinted way too tint.
yeah. There's too much tint going on. What else? I mean, the seat covers. Here's the deal, though. The factory stuff that this car comes with is the tackiest stuff of them all, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
You're saying, look, I'm stodgy, but I'm also kind of kinky, which goes back to
Oh,
grandma.
dear. I would have turned the kink down just a little bit.
That's what grandma said when that picture fell out, and you were like, but it's Thanksgiving.
I guess I'm grown up now. Yeah.
2.1 liter.
2.1. Yeah. So was this sold in excuse me, was this sold in Europe? Because I know there's extra taxes on engines over 2 liters.
That's right. It's a good question. 2.1 has always stood out to me as like you hit the wrong note. I'll have to get back to you on that. Wait a second. What is the keychain? Speaking of Jeebus, what's that keychain?
We're gonna have to go. We're gonna
What's that
have to find
keychain?
it down here.
There it is. Bring me the keychain.
My precious.
What's that keychain? Tie it all in, baby. Tie it all in for me. Go back.
Is it
Oh,
it's
it's
Snoopy. It's Snoopy sitting on his house.
But if you squint, It looks like Jesus.
I think in some cultures, Snoopy is Jesus.
I mean, certainly Mickey Mouse is. I mean, look, it's done.
It's done.
It's done. I don't know if it's done well. It's done. Somebody did the suspension.
Yeah.
It's rust free. Somebody took the time to do brakes. It's got coilovers. Like,
Right.
it's cool.
Yeah.
I think that I could take it to next level in terms of cosmetics, but nobody asked if I would.
Nobody asked. Okay, here's the question now. How much? You think like 12 grand? This car has 330,000 miles on it.
It does. I'm not mad at 12 grand. I wouldn't pay it. I wouldn't give any of my nuts for it. By the way, why did I just say that?
Because the show is called Bid Left Nut, where we try to answer the question, what would you give your left nut for? Not this Volvo 242.
No, I mean, if it was half the price,
Mm-hmm.
or if it was a cleaner example, like I'd pay 12 grand for a 242 GT, just not this 242 GT.
What about your neighbor's 242? Well, how much would you give him for that?
I mean, so my neighbors have, fun fact, no yawning, because this is where it gets good, friend. So look,
Lay
it's
it
a
on
little
me.
self-serving. Sometimes we make these shows and sometimes it's a little self-serving. And this is one of those occasions because I have a neighbor 2 doors down. He's got a 1986 Volvo 244. It's a 240 sedan. Original owner. It's in Volvo blue with a blue cloth interior. And it is achingly beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, always been garaged. I'll be honest, they probably don't watch the show, so I can say this. They're crazy. And everything they have is perfect all the time. But that car is getting old, and I've talked to my neighbor a few times, and I've said, when the time comes, I need to buy this car. And he sees my cars, he sees how clean they are, he kind of understands who I am. And so I saw the car leave last week on a flatbed. This happens once every few years. And every time it leaves, I usually have a conversation with him, and he's usually like, yeah, I think it's time finally. So it might be, I
Yeah.
haven't seen him this week, but maybe it's time. And if it's, I've got a green light,
Okay.
meaning Mrs. Marcus happens to really like the car.
Do you
I would
think
say,
you could pull something
Mrs.
like
Yeah,
this off? Could you buy the car and then let this man continue to garage it?
I'll be honest, last year I sold the Volkswagen Cabrio and I sold it and the man put it in his garage. He drove it 100 miles between September and May when I bought the car back for the same price. I effectively had free storage for the winter. And that is the greatest. It's not a scam. I didn't scam the guy.
Yeah.
But it was the greatest garage I've ever had.
I call it a scheme rather than a scam, I think.
Scheme sounds much
Did you
better.
get like a
because
free tank of gas out of it? Because that would be
I mean, listen, he's my friend, so like I didn't want to scam him, but a scheme seems less
problematic.
nefarious. Anyway, maybe I could get we'll call him Charlie. We'll call him Charlie because that's his name. Maybe we can get Charlie to garage the car, to continue to garage the car. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, when you go to buy that car from Charlie, you're probably going to want to show him some of this data that shows that the price of a 240 is increasing, and therefore you would gladly pay whatever he's asking, right?
Again, I hope they don't watch the show. I pay market value for the car. It's a nice car.
Which is probably around $12,000. Do you think would you pay less than 12 for that car? But don't
Yeah,
incriminate yourself if you're worried that this will reach the far reaches of your neighborhood.
far reaches of northeastern Pennsylvania. No, I'll pay a market value. Whatever the reason that the car just left on a flatbed will work into my sale price.
Well,
But it's a nice car. I would love to own it. I would be proud to own a 240. I think for all the reasons I mentioned about being able to press it into daily service, and I'm going to have a young driver in my house soon enough. I would put her in a 240. I don't know that she would want to be in it.
No, it's
I
yeah.
think it would be
It's
it's cool for the
ironic.
youngsters.
It's ironic, I think.
Well, and her father's ironic, so
That's
there
right.
you go.
So, but the prices are increasing. We can see a general trajectory upward. So the 240s do come in less than the Saab 900s, which, you're going to spend around between 15 and 20 probably for a decent 900. But in the Volvo world, you're paying almost half that, right? So you're probably in between 10, 12 to 15 maybe.
Agreed. I think that you're paying a little less. The question becomes, are you getting less? And in my mind, and this is why I took Team Volvo, I don't think you are. You're getting less weirdness, but what you're losing in weirdness, you're gaining in reliability. And if you're a guy like me, I'm turned on by reliability. I mean, not like,
Wow.
okay,
The question though, is your grandmother turned on by reliability because you mentioned Ozarks before, so you can.
that was for money laundering, not incest. That's a different show on HBO. But there's one final question before we wrap up.
Yeah.
We got to crown a king. And we all know that heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Yeah. And now give me some parameters. What are we thinking about? Value, appreciation, speed, number of lug nuts. What are you thinking?
Let's go with, what would you put in your garage? And the parameters are enjoyment, reliability, future value. You going to put a Saab 900 in your garage? Or are you going to put a Volvo 240 in your garage?
I think I might put the 240 wagon in my garage. It's so close to me wanting that 79-mile SIS model.
I've got to tell you, and maybe this is just where we are in our lives, but the 240 wagon is something that I actively want to pursue and put in my garage.
Hold on a second. Every episode we do, no matter whether we're talking about Yugos, Volvos, or GMCs, you want to pursue that car.
I do. I have a little, I don't know if you know this. It's not just a YouTube persona. I've got a little car problem. This is what I tell people. Like when I first meet people, or like after I get to know people, they're like, you have a lot of shit. I'm a stuff guy. And look, all the other stuff is great. I don't know if you know this, but over there, like in the other part of the basement, talk about cool cars. And by the end of the episode, I'm like, man, I think I got to start looking for one of those. And I do. I fall down the rabbit hole. But then I'm reminded that I have a 2-car garage and I have children that are going to school, and I can't be irresponsible the way I want to be. What I want to be is like the guy that drives the boxy Volvo because he's responsible. So did I just circle back to getting a Volvo?
I think you did.
I'm good.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we agree on
Well,
that. The Volvo 240 wagon is the King Swede.
Pew, pew. All right. Well, on that note, I will go look for Volvos. If I find 2, I'll send one your way.
You say it.
I want everybody to speed safely this week.
I want you to buckle up your Jesus Christ seatbelt and then speed safely.
And if you have a Snoopy and it looks like Jesus Christ, that's okay too.
Right. And
all right, everybody.
We're out of here.
We'll see you next time.